This week's Quick Tips video is on a weighty subject. I'm giving you the lowdown on lead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Divers Ready. My name's James. We're back once again with yet another in our series of Quick Tips videos where I try and cram as much of my scuba diving expertise into a video, 5 minutes or less on a given subject. And this week's episode, we're talking about lead weights. I'm going to be going through the different types of lead available to you and whether or not you should even buy lead for yourself. So if you haven't done so already, make your next dive on our subscribe button, hit that little bell icon. I'm going to head over to the workbench and I'll give you the lowdown. Starting out then, lead is the material of choice for scuba diving weights because it is the heaviest, densest, non-radioactive metal. So that's a no-brainer there. When we talk about weights for scuba diving, we're generally talking about two different kinds. We're talking about hard weights or block weights versus soft weights. Let's go through the pros and cons of each. Starting with soft weights. As the name suggests, these are softer, more comfortable. These are lead pellets encased in a mesh bag that is super sewn and reinforced and strong. And they are, as the name suggests, they're soft, they're comfortable, they can contour to the body shape, and they're very good for putting into pockets of BCDs or specialized weight belts that have pockets sewn in. They are available in the same denominations, the same amounts as hard weights. You can get from half a pound up to 6, 7, 8 pounds in one single case. I use these all the time for my weight integrated BCDs, just put them in the pocket, nice and comfortable and easy. And I use them for a bunch of non-diving stuff, like for example, the camera that I'm recording this on right now is actually sat on a bunch of soft weights, kind of just helps me position the camera in places where I don't want to fit a tripod. The downsides of these are they can only be used on weight integrated systems or in pockets. They can't be threaded onto a weight belt. And over time, if left exposed to sunlight, the actual plastic that the mesh is made out of becomes brittle, you end up getting bigger holes in, and the pellets tend to leak out. Go to the bottom of any scuba diving pool and look around the pump filter in the bottom of the pool, and you're sure to find a bunch of these little lead pellets that have just sort of seeped out over time. Conversely then, hard weights are designed to be threaded onto a belt. Hence the two slots there, you can feed the belt through. One top tip for doing this is actually that when you thread the belt through, put a little twist in it before feeding it back through the second side, and that will stop the weight from sliding up and down the belt, and you can actually position the weight exactly where you want it on the length of the weight belt. Hard weights have the advantage of being able to be used on a weight belt or in a weight pocket in an integrated system, and they don't leak. They stay the same weight that they are. This one's a 2-pounder. Disadvantage of these are that often people misuse these or don't really care for them as they should, and you'll see like the weight bucket on a boat, people are just throwing the weights into the weight bucket. That's not a good idea. Lead is a soft metal, and what ends up happening is the sides end up getting crushed, and then you can't actually feed a weight belt through the gap. I'm not a big fan of weight belts. I tend to use integrated systems anyway, but if you are still using a weight belt, you don't want to be crushing the sides because you have to be able to thread it onto the belt. Let's talk about whether or not you should buy weight. Starting with the fact that you should never travel with weight. There is no sense at all to go on a dive vacation and pack lead. I've seen people do it. I used to work in very busy touristy areas and people would show up with lead in their suitcase. Guys, what are you doing? We're running a commercial dive center. You think we don't have weight? In fact, let me go further than that and say, if you're diving with a dive center that doesn't have any lead, don't dive with them. That's not a good thing. So anywhere you're traveling to go diving, you don't need to take weight. The only reason that you, as a general member of the public diving, should buy your own weight is if you're diving where you live. If you own your own boat or you do a lot of shore diving where you live, it doesn't make sense. Well, what if you want to do shore diving on vacation and there isn't a boat involved? You can still rent lead from your local dive shop. It's not a big deal. So yeah, if you're diving where you live, if you're diving in your local lake, if you live near the coast and you've got shore dives available to you, absolutely get the right amount of lead you need in the right denomination, soft or hard, and you're all set up. Lead is a commodity, so the price goes up and down based on the cost of mining this mineral. But once you've got the set amount you need, as long as your body type or your equipment configuration doesn't change too much, it should last you forever and you shouldn't need to buy any more. I know, ladies and gentlemen, a heavy subject, but I hope this video helped you make the decision as to whether or not you need to buy your own weights, and if so, what type you should go for. If you did get value out of this video, give it the old thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, my name's James. This was your quick tips video for this week from Divers Ready. Dive safe, dive often.